Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of November 16th, 2020. Every week we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
This week we're complaining about another pandemic-related tech tool and obsessing about forgetfulness. We're also taking a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today, we're talking about a book by Megan Leahy called Parenting Outside the Lines, which I love the title.
Yes.
It says so much. So, as you might assume from the title, Leahy is a parenting coach and an expert after our own heart. She's all about doing what works for your child and your family and ignoring everything else. And we loved what she had to say about how much work parents do that they don't give themselves enough credit for. So this is a quote directly out of her book. Because we sometimes misunderstand parenting as an immediate if A, then B proposition, we cannot see the positive and long-term results of small and unseen parenting moments. We don't know the good in making the lunch, smoothing the hair, listening to the whining about a classmate, missing the work meeting for the morning school share, picking up from the dance at 11 p.m., and blowing on the hot soup. While we all wait for the immediate thank yous, we don't see the invisible threads that we are weaving together to create the net of love for our children to fall into much, much later. So I absolutely love that excerpt and thought we could, have a discussion around that and all those little invisible threads that we do that go into making what our family is.
Yeah.
Making our children's lives better.
Yeah. It's the things you do and sometimes the things that you refrain from doing that you don't really give credit to. But I'm always feeling like I have to make things happen and I need to do things. And if something goes wrong, it's because I didn't do something. And if something goes right, it's because of something I did. And it's really not that way most of the time. Life in general, and especially parenting. When you look back at things that your parents did when you were a kid, it's generally not the big things. It's just the whole network of support and caring and routine that meant the most. Mm-hmm. Although there's that one time my mom went into the school and got my French teacher to give me an A, but in general, it's just that she was, she was there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we don't give our parents enough credit for, at least I think when I was about my childhood, I don't give them enough credit for the things that they did that made my life easier or that made me feel like I belonged or loved or whatnot, And so then obviously, actually we had that happened to me this past week with my daughter. She had to work. So the night before, I knew that she would want this certain item of clothing, but she's been working like 20 hours a week plus taking a full course load at school. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I'll just throw in some laundry for her. So I put in the laundry and I forgot to put it in the dryer the next morning. And she was so upset with me initially. She was like, I can't believe you didn't dry my clothes and now I'm running around trying to dry them. And I'm like, hey, who put your clothes in the wash in the first place? Who thought about that? Because you'd be running around this morning freaking out for a whole other reason and an even bigger reason. So at least I cut your drama in half, okay? So anyway, yeah, that's my daughter.
Yeah, it's about the things that the kids don't notice and also that we don't even notice.
Right.
That we do. There's so much of that. Just leaving home early enough to get the good parking space so that when you pick them up, they don't have to walk a long way or just even so that they know that you're there.
Yeah.
they don't know.
No.
They only notice if you don't do that.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's so much of that we do, and we don't pat ourselves on the back for it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a parenting strategy that I always really liked. I think it was in Howard Glasser's book, which I always revere, the nurtured heart approach. But one of the things he suggests is like just Kodak moments of just if your kid is doing something right or is just not doing something wrong or is just sort of existing in a peaceful way, just sort of call out that and notice that and make a, don't wait till they're doing something praiseworthy or they're doing something blameworthy. Just appreciate the little moments. And maybe we need to do that for ourselves as parents too. Just,
right.
Hey, right now I am not yelling at anybody. Right now, I am not creating drama in my home. Right now, I am not tying myself into a knot of anxiety over something my kids are doing. We're just kind of existing as a family together. We're all doing our own things and happily sharing a space, and that's really nice. How wonderful this is. So some people have gratitude journals. We need to have like journals of writing down the times when things were cool.
I mean, I kind of feel like sometimes, well, lately, more so lately, like if somebody says, oh, what's new, what's happening, what's going on, I'll be like, nothing, thank goodness.
Right.
Like absolutely nothing. Like life is just, I'm kind of reveling in the just day-to-day kind of calmness that is, knock on wood, hanging over our house right now. So, yeah.
Day-to-day calmness is so good for kids, especially kids with disabilities like mine, but just kids in general.
Yeah.
We always want to have the big moments and the big things, but just the calm routine is so helpful and so nurturing just in and of itself. If you are about making that happen, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. I had an interesting conversation with my daughter last night. She's a linguistics major, at university. And she was talking about how children acquire language and that it's a lot of turn taking, like parents set up these opportunities for turn taking in conversation. So they'll say, what have you got? Or do you like, the way we talk to little kids, right? Like, do you want to go potty? Where is daddy? Whatever, conversation that you're having. And so we innately set these little conversations up so that our kids can respond and, learn language plus learn turn taking in conversation and learn how to be social. And so, she was like, wow, like I didn't realize that that's what parents do. I'm like, oh, sweetie, we do so much more than just that. So it was kind of an interesting conversation to have. But yes, she was quite floored at that's what we do.
There's a great video of a dad talking to a baby, and he's just, the baby's just babbling. She's not saying any words, but he's just like, I know. Can you believe you just did that? And just goes on, and as if they're having this really complete discussion. And it's actually just beautiful to see, it's funny, but it's also just, the warmth of what the dad is doing for the baby is just really compelling. So,
yeah. Well, I'm sure the baby's
and they're just sitting on the couch, and I think they have the TV on, so like that, somebody could say like, oh, well, you shouldn't have the TV on around the baby, whatever. But, he's making it into a teachable moment without being annoying about it.
Yes, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned there was something in that book about sort of honoring yourself for the times you don't make things worse. That's a big thing for me. As we know with my helicopter parenting, I'm always wanting to hover and do stuff and make stuff okay. And, I know my son came home from work the other day and told me a couple of things. It kind of got my rotors moving a little bit. And I was like, well, should I talk to him about it? Should I call his boss and make sure that they know that this thing about him? And should I, I had all these different ideas of things I should do. And then I realized that there is no way any of those things would make things better. And they would probably cause a problem in and of themselves. And that what I needed to do is just sit down and shut up and let whatever was going to happen develop. And that's really hard. But I think, just not making the remark about what your kid is wearing, not making the remark about, what they're doing, you think that they're doing wrong. Sometimes that's a real parenting strength. And you should give yourself a gold star for just not saying that thing that will make your kid feel bad. But your kid needs to know this, It's important, but it's really not, especially if you said the same thing 500 times before.
Right.
Probably they know. My daughter if she heard me saying this, if she was in the house right now, she would be yelling, "Endorse!" from the doorway.
Listen to this writer, Terry. Do what she says.
You're making it worse. Shut up.
Well, we definitely recommend checking out this book. It's called Parenting Outside the Lines by Megan Leahy. And it's full of, great anecdotes from her own parenting and also her coaching of parents. And, there's swears. So if that's the kind of parenting book that appeals to you, I think you should check it out. And that's it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.